Hello. I just wanted to say hi. My name is John Fisher, and just introduce you to what this course will be and to see if it's something that's up your alley. And the topic is transforming lives, something like this. I'm not sure what the actual title is going to be that you're seeing, but it's transforming lives for primarily women, middle age, 40 plus, with this wonderful skill and thing you have called the camera and photography that you just love doing so much. And it's like you found this joy of using this camera, right? But you're also like to help people and are the kind of person that might want, really would have gone into some other helping field, but you fell in love with this camera. So can you imagine with this camera and thing you love doing is taking photographs and, of people or whatever you're taking photographs of, could you imagine if you can also transform lives with it? Well, you really can, and I really want you to. This is something I've been doing for about 10 years. That's my story. My story is, I went to school for elementary education. I wanted to give kids a new way, alternative education. I wanted to give kids a new, I didn't like, the way things going are with normal school where, the outside institution is pretty much telling the children what they need. I believed in child-centered education. I really wanted to be able to tap into the child's needs and wants and desires and use that to help guide him through his education. That was my thing. But I really believed in it. It really mattered to me. I really wanted this for the children. And then I went into so I had various jobs that were all about trying to help people in various ways. And then I had a moment in my life where that stopped. I wasn't doing that anymore. I decided not to, and I had a moment where I was looking for my next thing. What is my next thing? And I was leaving a career guidance counselor's office one day, and it just popped into my mind. It's like I remember exactly the words that I used in my mind. It was, I get to be a photographer. Get to. I'm allowed to. Like, this is something I loved when I was a kid in high school. I was that guy with the camera. I did all the yearbook photos, and I was that guy that just loved it so much and was always with the camera around my neck. And I had a darkroom in my basement. It was just like I was that, and I just loved it. And I had this moment of, I actually get to do this for a career. I get to do this thing I love and make money out of it, right? And that's what I decided to do. And then really soon afterwards, based on my style, the way that I shoot, a dating coach said, hey, why don't you do this for me? Do this when my clients need some online dating photos. And I think you'd be good at it. So I did it one day, and while I was shooting, I was noticing that part of what I was doing was seeing the client differently than she was seeing herself. And I was reflecting that back to her. And while I was doing that, I was noticing her become what I was saying, and then taking the photos of her while I was reflecting that back to her. And I was just seeing her sort of change before my eyes. And then when she saw the photos, again, she was, oh my God, I didn't know, I knew I was not photogenic. What's going on here? And she just, by the end of the whole thing, the shoot and revealing the photos, she was changed, hopefully forever. I mean, people have their own self-doubts and self-judgments that creep back, but in that moment, hopefully for a while, and maybe every time she looks at the photos, she will be different. She will have, realized that she is photogenic. And in this time of her life where kind of, it's often people that are divorced. So in that age group, they've been married, now they're not, they're doing this again, and they don't want to. They thought this was done, and they're not 20 anymore. And they're kind of kicked to the ground a bit from the divorce, more than a bit, probably. And they're just not looking the way they used to. And they're feeling really crappy about themselves sometimes, often. And really self-conscious about getting their photos taken, especially for online dating when it's so much about the photos. So I put together, so I realized that I get to, so when I have these photo shoots with these, I do for men and women, but this transformation happens especially with the women, um, where I get to do that. And with this camera that I love and taking pictures, I get to combine them. I get to I get to be a significant part of this person's transformation, life change, both in what she feels about herself and in giving her a head start in this whole online dating thing to have real high quality, not just posed um, posed studio photos, but natural photos that seem like they're candids from her life. And they really are her being herself. And that's part of what I do. They're not staged. Well, they're a little bit staged, but they're not like empty portraits. They're really filled with emotion. They're filled with personality. They seem like that random photo that, some of us have of people that, you know, we just got them in the moment. And this is something that you might get when you're shooting an event, right? When you're shooting an event, you might get these as the observer. You will get those in the moment shots because they're not staring at you. They're just doing stuff. You're shooting a wedding or whatever you're shooting. You'll get those in the moment shots when somebody's interacting with somebody or they're just in the moment of glee, right? That will just naturally happen while you're the fly on the wall watching it. But what do you do when there's a client that comes to your doorstep, right? That comes to your office, for the next few hours, they're gonna need some photos, but they're staring at you and you're staring at them. How do you get them to have that emotional quality, the emotional juice that happens when you're an observer at some event or when you're observing something and you happen to see somebody reacting, oh my God, like in the moment of something, right? But how do you manufacture that? How do you create emotion by a person that's coming to your door for a photo session? How do you create not just one emotion like happiness or joy, but how do you create a variety of emotional beings, sense of who this person is, that they are this and are this and are this? Like that's what you'd want for online dating. You'd want to express a variety of sides of somebody in different states. Like for a guy, you might want to show his strength, his confidence, his softness, his gentleness too, his playfulness. For man and woman. I'm not stereotyping, and for women, well, there might be a little bit of stereotyping, like an openness and even a vulnerability, sexiness, but sexiness in more of can you imagine having a photo and you know how to take this photo, right? That I'm going to teach you of a photo when somebody looks at it, it looks like when a guy looks at a woman's photo, right? Can you imagine having a photo that it seems like she's looking at you and you're her lover? It's that look. Yeah, you know that look. That knowing look, that knowing romantic look of she's looking at somebody she knows well. Can you imagine the impact that could have on the viewer? Like, whoa. And so with online dating, it's all about the photos. It's all about drawing someone in and keeping them there. Drawing them in and having them interested enough to respond to an email, to write an email, to respond to a call, to make an appointment. It's really all about the photos and the profile, what you wrote in the profile, but so much of it, like 90% of it or more, starts with the photos. People, guys especially, but women too, just, they're not going to read the profile unless the photos hook them in. And then when somebody calls them, or if somebody messages you, you're not going to you might not put effort into it unless there's something about the photos that just draw you in. And that's our job. So we have this wonderful, in front of you, there's this wonderful opportunity to help transform on a personal level, help in the process of somebody's transformation. And you get to go to bed at night and say, wow, that was just amazing. I got to do that. I got to be a part of that, this thing that I just saw today. Wow. You get to do that. You will get to do that with this camera that you love and this skill, this natural instinct that you have to click photos. And you'll be able to do both, do this thing you love and get to really go to bed at night and say, wow, I did that. Yep, I did. What an amazing thing that you have an opportunity to do now. And I'll tell you all the tricks, the whole way to do it. And it's fun, and it's just fun. It's a lot. There's a lot there. There's a real lot there to make. So to do online dating in general, there's a lot there. Like, what is an online dating photo? Like, why is an online dating photo? I told you some pieces of it, but really, what is an online dating photo? Why is it different than a portrait session? What's different than that? And how could a professional photographer, or how could somebody with a camera help somebody, a friend, say, hey, I need some dating photos? What does that even mean? What does that mean? Is it, what, I have no idea. What does that mean? To do a dating photos for somebody, right? What does that mean? And how can you do it in such a way that you feel confident that you did well? Like you did it correctly, not just to make some money or to do this thing for a friend, but you can confidently say, yeah, I know how to do it and I did it well, and these photos will really be valuable for you. What does that even mean? Okay? And then how to do it. And then we're going to go through all the nitty gritty of how to do it, where to shoot, how to edit, just, what kind of volume this is. It's just a whole thing. And then even about how to sell this. So here's a challenge. So you have a, I'm moving around, find the background. So it's not in front of that wheelbarrow over there, but it's okay. So here's a challenge. So you have these people, they know nothing, but they know they're not photogenic. They hate getting their photos taken. There can't possibly be a way that you can take a photo of them that they're going to like. And why the hell would they want to come to you and spend money with you to buy some photos, right? From their perspective, and their clear mind, they're not making it up. They don't take good pictures. Like they're not photogenic. You're going to fail. So why would they ahead of time spend money on getting more shitty pictures that they feel bad about? Why the hell would they do that? Right? So I have a way of, it's really a try before you buy method that works, and the end result is pretty good money. And the way it is, it's coming in, I'll explain about it, but it's basically coming in for free. But why would you do that, right? Why would you waste your time on somebody? Well, you would. I'll explain it all and how to do it, and how it's not 100%, but it's close, really close. If you do it the way I'm showing it to you, that the end result, when the client sees the photos, they're absolutely gonna buy all that you got, right? And then spend good money doing it. So, and I'll explain exactly how to do that. And good money. So right now, my basic package is $850. So I do a 2-hour photo shoot, and the basic package is $850, and then it goes up to $1,700, but that has some other stuff that you don't necessarily have access to. But it can go higher to easily to $1,200 for a 2-hour photo shoot. And this is coming in for free. And that's the only way it's likely going to work. Well, there's probably other ways to do it, slightly adjusting it, but some way of drawing somebody in easily, and then letting them, once they see the photos, they'll get it and they'll need to buy it. And that's not, I didn't make up that system, but part of it I did, and part of it I tweaked to make it work just right for this, to allow you to make as much money as possible and to get them in as easy as possible. So I'll go through the whole thing of selling it, even marketing, like how can you market. But it could just be you just want to know how to do this well for that occasional person that happens to say, hey, do you do online dating photos? Do you do dating profile photos? And you can say, yeah, I do. And I'll be happy to do it for you. Excuse me. And then you'll make some reasonable money out of that. Almost guaranteed, honestly. It's just the system is such that, I mean, you can so easily pay for this course with just one shoot. I mean, easily. And then much more. Marketing is tricky. So you'll have to, I'm going to give you some guidance on that, on how to do that. But it could just be, this isn't your thing. This isn't your thing that you most likely it's not. And that's fine. It shouldn't be. It's kind of a complicated thing to make your thing, your only thing, your primary thing. But it could be a great thing to add to your repertoire. So yeah, I can do that. And even putting on your website and having it be one of the things you do. And it could be that this is a thing you really love to do most because of the value it has to the client. And you can see it right in front of your eyes. And then when you have weddings, when you're invited to the wedding of the client that you shot their dating profile because of you, it sparked a relationship. So it's a good, yummy thing. So the right person for this is somebody that really cares about all those things I just said, especially the emotional impact of it. So it's not for you if just the money piece of it was the thing that said, yeah, that's it, I want to do that. That's not for you. It's for you if you really care, and it's like, I'm not like Gandhi. I'm not Gandhi or whatever. I'm not in my life that kind of a guy that just, I don't know. I just know I'm not Gandhi, right? But it's just a treasure that I get to do this when I'm doing this thing I love with my camera, that I get to be a part of somebody's transformation. That's valuable for me, huge. And it's not just, oh, I think this thought and it's done. That's really, and I'll teach you how to do it. It's really a part of the whole shoot, is that you're aware that you're seeing them differently, that you're choosing to see their amazingness. And then when you see it, you'll let them know that you see it, and they'll take it in and say, really? Wow, I didn't know that. So there's a whole way of being around it, and the big part of it is you're being present, really present with somebody, and just seeing them as being great, and you're letting them know, and that matters. It really, really matters. It really matters. It matters to people in general, and you get to do this, and you kind of get to do it with abandon because it's your job. So it's kind of interesting. Like, normally it might be kind of weird to say something to a stranger, very weird to say something like this to a complete stranger, but you get to, because it's your job and you kind of have to. Like, it's really crucial that you find a way to find something about this person that you really it feels, wow, that's really cool. And it could be anything. Let's say, it's not whatever. Everybody has issues and everybody has judgments, and it's like, we're not pretending that there's no judgments. But even if you have some judgments, somehow when you get into this box of this is your job and this, you can find a way to see somebody's amazingness no matter what, and then just build on that. Let that be a crack to open up a different sense in yourself. It's a lot about you being willing to do it, honestly. You being willing to see how amazing they are, how amazing that human being is in front of you. And it's weird how it works, but that's kind of important, that you need to be a little bit caring about wanting to be able to do that. I said a lot, and I really hope you join me, because I really, this is like a new thing for me to really want to pass on this thing. So I've been doing this for about 10 years. It just so happens that, once I did that, I just, the dating coach just kept on sending me more clients, and then I started just loving it some more. I just sort of made that my thing. I did make it my thing, and I built a whole business around making my thing and figuring out how to sell it, figuring out how to shoot it, and constantly reevaluating how to shoot it, honestly. So it's a real ongoing thing, but there's 10 years of details of how to do it. Like, where do you do it? Like where do you shoot? Like, really, and it's very important. Like, where do you have the photo session? It's huge, because the end result is that you want this collection of photos to seem like they're snapshots of their year, not that they went to a photo shoot like a studio. They'll be amazing photos, but they will seem like they're just real photos of themselves. Amazing photos, but they'll seem like, oh, wow, that's the reaction. It'll be, whoa. And that's what we want. So I don't know where I was going with that. Actually, I lost my train of thought. Let's think. So, yeah, I'm not sure where I was at. But, yeah, so I really want you to just I think I lost track of where I was at. But, let's see if it'll give me a moment to think of where I was at. But yeah, it's for you if you care about that. And it'll be fun. And it'll be fun to be that. I think, where was I at? I don't remember. I really don't remember. But, yeah. Oh, so the dating coaches were sending me things, and eventually just became my thing. That's what I did primarily, and I had marketing for it. So I had, weekly, daily, 10, 15 clients for online dating photos. So I got to have, all this massive experimentation ability. So I kind of figured it out over 10 years, a precise way to do this. Oh yeah, there's the location. So, you know, you want the end result is photos that seem like they're snapshots of their life, but how do you do that? Where do you go? And if it's outdoors, how do you change the clothing? And what about clothing? Like, and its clothing part is pretty crazy too. So what about the clothing? What about the location? You know, what about how do you click? How do you set the camera? You know, what kind of, you know, everything. We're going to go through every little bit of it. And you just get, and the end result is you'll just be able to confidently say yes to a client that wants to do this. You'll be able to confidently, easily pay for this course. I mean, ridiculously easily pay for this course, and hopefully way more. And just be able to have this thing, this piece of photography. Maybe you love the other parts too, like maybe whatever other things you do, maybe you love them. But could you imagine one of the things you do could be part of transforming a life? You know, that you get to do that. You get to. You're allowed to. You get to have that treat to yourself to be able to transform a life with this wonderful skill you have and this wonderful thing called the camera and photography. So I really hope you join me. And if that's a fit, because that piece, that's really who I'm looking for, that will be the right fit for this. It's somebody that really would love to. Can you imagine being able to do that? That cares about that kind of ooey gooey mushy stuff. Okay? And it's just a blast. And it's also, you know, part of it is to get people to respond and react. So you have to be willing to engage and just play. So this is so the whole bottom thing, it's not just, oh my God, you look so beautiful. You know, that's there too. That's like 10%, right? There's that. There has to be that. Is really noticing somebody and doing your best to reflect it back to them. But it's also just having fun with a client and playing with them and letting the reactions give you the gems. Let the reactions and the responses give you the juice, that the real beautiful, emotionally impactful stuff that you need and want. So if that seems like that could be a fit for you, I'm looking forward to having you join us, and it's gonna be a fun workshop. Okay, so take care. Hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye bye. And if you want some coaching around it, you know, I'm always here. But maybe I'll see you somewhere. Okay. Bye bye.